Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today got a little project I want to do over here on the Monarch lathe, working on the lathe itself. We've been doing a restoration job on this lathe now for some time, and it's operational as it is, but there's still a few little things that just still need to be done to it. And one of them has to do with this lever down here. This is a lever that's used to turn the lathe on and off, basically, or engage the spindle on it so that it starts turning, and you basically just pull up on it or push down on it to operate it. But there is a considerable amount of wear, and this is something that I've noticed on a lot of these Monarch lathes. It wears in this area. The good news is it's just a little bushing in there that is fairly easy to replace, and I have made them before for other lathes. I want to take this one off today and get that kind of knocked out, get that fixed so that we have a nice tight bushing in there where I don't have all this slop in here. Let me zoom in and kind of show you what we're dealing with, and we're going to get started on getting this thing squared away. So this is the lever in question, and if you look, I've got that much play in it before it actually starts turning the bar. So you push down on this lever, and that's what engages the spindle. You pull up on it to disengage it, but there's just way too much play in there, and I want to get that taken out. So first step is we need to get this off of the lathe so that we can take that bushing out and make a new one. Let's get going. Now, to get this off, this whole handle will just kind of slide off the end, but we've got to take this bracket off the end that supports all these rods in order to do that. So let me grab some socket caps, screws, or Allen wrenches there. We'll go ahead and see if we can get that pulled off. And we need to get this disconnected. I have to figure out how to do that, and we'll slide it off, and hopefully it won't be too difficult. So we can get these socket cap screws out. That one's good. And got one more in here. I think that's out. Yep. All right. Gonna take a lead hammer here. Let's see if we can slide that out. There we go. That little bush in there needs to come off. Now, let's see about getting the handle off. We should be able to slide that off. So to get this handle off, there's basically up underneath, we got the apron here on the front, and up underneath the bottom here, there's a little piece right here that has a set screw in it, and I believe if I pull this set screw out, that will allow the handle to come out. That collar is just capturing it in place and holding it on that shaft, on that square shaft. So it's gonna be hard for me to show this, but I'm gonna remove that set screw and see if we can slide the handle out. All right, let's see if we can get this out. We'll loosen that up. Put up my hammer at. All right, now we should be able to just slide this all the way off the end. Get it down there. There we go. All right. I am going to clean this up and see what we need to do. All right, we got this handle out, and I cleaned it up a little bit. Looks like we got a snap ring holding this end. I believe there's a little cover on that. Let's see, I need to get the internal snap ring pliers. Hang on. All right, this should be the right set here. So I'm going to put a pin in both sides of that snap ring. There we go. Got that out. And let's get that out of there. Here's this little cover. And then our bushing should be underneath that, I think. Got a little gasket looking thing. All right, yeah, this is more starting to look familiar. So I'm going to show you what we got in here. So down inside of this is the actual bushing right here. And there is basically just a little set screw key that holds that in place. This is basically, you just drill and tap that and it serves as a keyway. And one thing that I will note is that there's one of them in here, but there's two other holes. So this would be I guess this is the third one of these bushings that have been in this over the year. We're going to have to drill and tap another hole to do it, but you got one there, and of course the one up here at the top that's actually holding it in place. I'm going to get a punch. We'll drive that out, and we got to make that new little insert, and then we will reinsert it back in there, and we'll drill a new hole. But this has been repaired in the past. At least this is the third bushing, it looks like, based on the number of holes that's in there. All right, let me get something to knock that out. And I'm just going to take a punch here. Just coming over here to my vise where I can. There, that's all it took. All right, got it. I don't want to go to the parts washer and clean that up a little bit, but that is the bushing that we need to make. You can see the hole where the key was in there. Let's see what sizes this thing is. So the outside diameter is 1 5/8, 1.625. And we got a thickness here of a little over 3/4 of an inch. And the square hole on the inside is supposed to be 3/4 of an inch as well. It's oversized because it's worn, but that's not a problem. Okay, let me see if I can find some stock. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the lathe. We will make the part here. We'll drill this for whatever size. I'm pretty sure I've got a 3/4 inch square broach that we can get it to broach it actually square. I need to see what size I'll need to drill it for. But we're going to start over on the lathe making one of these. All right, we're over at the lathe. I've got a piece of mystery metal here. Looks like some hot roll steel, 2 inches in diameter. We're going to turn that down, drill it, and make our bushing, and then we'll go broach that out. So I'm going to start by just putting a center in the end. It's a little long sticking out here. I think we'll be fine, but I'll put a little support on it. Won't hurt anything. And put a center in the end. All right, that ought to be it. All right, center her back in. Just going to touch off ever so slightly. I'm going to zero that out on my digital readout so I can measure how deep I'm cutting. Okay, it looks like we'd be 780 thousandths. I'm just going to go in an inch, and we're going to start turning this out. All right, here we go. All right. Let's figure out what our diameter is here. Looks like we are at 895. 894, I'll call. I'm going to put that in my digital readout. 1.894. And we're going to 1.625. So let me go ahead and get that turned down. All right, we're getting down close to our final number here. I'm just going to take a light pass here. I'm going to get another measurement. I'm going to check this with a micrometer. 1.656. Been in 2 passes, I think. Check that again. $636. We're right on the money on the digital readout. I'm just going to dial in 625. Right there. This should be it. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to break that outside corner there. And we need to drill our hole in there that we're going to be broaching on. We're going to start by just drilling a 3/8 inch hole in here just to get a pilot hole started. All right, that should be playing deep enough. Our broach needs a 13/16 inch hole. So I've got a 13/16 inch drill bit here. We're gonna drill out what we can broach down. Slow the RPMs down on that larger diameter drill bit there. We get this drilled out real quick. All right. All right, we need to part this off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring my parting tool up here. What I want to do is I want to set a 0 so that I can get the depth right. So I'm just going to use something here to put across the face, and we're just going to bump our cutter right up on that, right there. And I'm going to 0 out my digital readout. And let me see, that was 780, I think. Yeah, 780 is the thickness. So I'm just going to move my cutter in 780 thousandths, and I'm just reading that directly off the digital readout. Right there. And we are ready to part this off. We go all over there. I'll just catch it here with my A piece of metal. Here we go. Now we got our little bushing made here, and what we need to do next is broach the square hole. So I've got a 3/4 inch square broach. This basically starts out at the size of that pilot, which was what, 13/16. So it will fit right in there. And basically what this does is each pass is just nibbling out a little bit more, and it goes from being round more or less to more or less square. The hole is just a little bit oversized, but we're going to come down through here and just push this through. And I am going to put some oil on that just to get some lubrication going. But let's push that through. And like I said, each little tooth is just cutting a little bit more out of that square. A little more coil up here. Yes. Here we go. All right, so now we have a nice broached hole in there. That should be right on size and hopefully hold up better than this other one. This one here was the original one, or the one that was in there. It wasn't the original, I don't think. But this one looks like someone just literally came in there with like a file or something and filed out the corners rather than broaching it. And it probably never was very tight to begin with, which probably made the problem worse. All right, so we need to insert this into there. I'll probably go over to the arbor press and press that in. I know that the square side goes basically up and down with the handle, kind of like that right there. So I'm going to clean that out a little bit. We'll get that in there, and then we'll need to make our key. So I've dropped the new bushing down inside the handle, and we need to go ahead and get this drilled and put a key in there. And for that, I'm just going to take a center punch here, and we're going to put a little punch in here in another spot, and we'll drill it out right there. I'm just going to use a hand drill. I'm just going to put it here in the vise and drill it in, then we're going to tap it. So I'm going to turn this like this, make it a bit easier for me to drill into, and we'll get that done. This gets drilled and tapped for 5/16 18. So I've got a letter F drill bit that we're going to be putting in there. All right, we're going to go ahead and tap this now. I'm going to put a little dab of anchor lube on there just to give me some lubrication. Here we go. And then we'll just put that set screw in there, and that will serve as a key to lock this in place and keep it from spinning inside that housing. All right. So this will come back up on here. All right, now this is going to have to go up inside that little area there. All right. And it's going to have to line up to the piece on the inside, which I think it's into. All right. Now we can tighten up our set screw on the bottom, and we no longer have any play in that at all. And it'll move with the carriage. Once it gets locked in, it'll move in both directions. It is a little tight right now, but it'll loosen up as you use it. We're tightening this little set screw on the bottom. It's a little dog point set screw, and this fits up into a slot in the piece that it goes into, and I got it lined up. And that is tight right there. That'll keep that from coming out the other direction now. And, yep, we are moving just fine. So it is a little bit tight, but it will wear into size pretty quickly. It should be just fine. I think we got that done, and no play in that at all now. That is what you want. Nice positive action. Let's get the support on the input back on, and I think we'll have this done. Well, in full disclosure, I decided to take this out, and I put a file on the inside of that and just barely took a little bit out, and this thing slides much easier now, more like it should. Hopefully that's not going to be quite as tight. The whole carriage was a little bit tighter than what I felt like it needed to be. So anyway, we made that little adjustment. I'll put this back on, and we'll put the end back down here where it belongs. So we got our rods that need to go back into the little piece that holds everything in place. This bushing here, its function is basically to turn that square rod into a piece of round that will rotate on the shaft. So we'll put that back on. It's about where it was at right there. And we'll bring our plate over here. And we got to get all 4 rods lined up. And coming up on this.
Okay.
All right. So I'm just going to take a pry bar and kind of, I can see on the paint back there kind of where this lines up. And that one is started. See if I can get the other one started as well. I can see the paint on the end of these. This one was in that bottom one. Just go ahead and put it down there where it came out from. Put this one back in here. All right. With that, we got her knocked out. All right, that makes a very nice fix for this lathe. I'm going to tell you, when I was using this machine on the first job I used it on after I had restored it, this down here was really aggravating me because it was just so much slop and so much wiggle in that handle, and I really just like having that positive control like we have now. So that is going to be nice to have fixed. And after opening that square up just a little bit with the file, it's sliding back and forth very nicely now. So anyway, then we're going to call this job checked off the list. Still got a few little things I want to wrap up on this machine as I get a few minutes here, there, and yonder. But it's completely usable as it is right now, but that's going to be a nice improvement. Guys, with that, that's going to be a wrap. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are always greatly appreciated. Hit that bell icon up there to get notifications when new videos are posted to the site. And as always, a big, huge thank you to those who subscribe to the site, as well as those who support the site financially through PayPal, through Patreon, etc. Really allows me to take the time to shoot these videos and share with you guys what's going on in the shop. With that, guys, we're going to sign off, and we will catch you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching.